What is up, everybody? JD here. I hope you're doing well today. Got a new one in from Kizer that we're going to take a look at. Let's get it. All right, guys, we have the Kizer Seagull in, and this is a new budget offering from Kizer, and it is very interesting to be sure. So the first thing you're going to notice, you have aluminum scales on this variant with a flat laying on the scale, fold over deep carry pocket clip. Not reversible, a little surprising because this is a nested liner. So this would be lefty friendly in my opinion. I love the subtle blue, dark blue pivot collar and back spacer, a nice little pop of color to contrast these very neutral colored handled scales. You have multiple means of deployment with an opening hole, a front flipper, and a top flipper, and it is a minimalist top flipper and a very pointy front flipper. I don't know if it was designed like that because it's necessary. Doesn't necessarily feel like it. The opening hole has a great tune for the detent. You have a hollow ground 14C 28N blade, taking a step away from Nitro V. It is not a full hollow, but it is very thin and it gets a little bit thicker out towards the tip. So the grind is pretty unique here because it does give enough strength out on the tip here to where you don't feel like it's necessarily going to chip easily. Nice thin blade stock. You have jimping out on the tip, which is going to be nice for the pinch grip. It's going to give you some traction out here and some control. It also has a forge choil to where you can move up with the thumb in case you need to limit your penetration when you're opening in a package. You don't want to do any damage. Good jumps here in that forward choil. You got jumps in the back here that are also part of that front flipper. So it gives you a nice choked out position here. And you get a lot of control if you're trying to make sure that you're not cutting too aggressive or too wild. And then choked back, it is a 3-finger grip for me. I hang off the back with it not poking out far enough. I'm not really able to get a grip onto anything, but on that back spacer, they have a lanyard hole that does not prioritize over the pocket clip, and that lanyard hole is going to be where you can throw a lanyard on. So if you're like me with large hands, you can add a tight, short little lanyard on there for your pinky to land on, or you can just choke up. What I do like about this choke up is they have a guard here, so you're not really close to the blade's edge. They gave you a nice little sharpening choil here, and they did a pretty good job on this plunge grind. It is far back enough to where you can get some good sharpening life out of here. Access to the lock bar is good. You're riding on ceramic bearings, so you have very smooth action for the deployment methods that are on here. I think I like all of them. Even that front flipper being a little tall, it works well. So I appreciate the functionality, even though it does kind of look like a rhino horn on the top there. I wonder if they could have gone, yeah, they could have gone a little shorter. Wouldn't have been as much leverage. It would have required good hand dexterity, good strength, but it would have worked pretty well in my opinion. Let's do some quick size comparisons. All right, here we are with the Spyderco Bodacious. And we have the Ragnar from Wixco. I think I'm saying that name right. I still am not 100% confident that I have that right. Both of these more of a full-size offering. I personally was hoping that the Seagull was going to be more medium in size, but I do have a small knife here to kind of show in comparison to it. This one came in here recently because of a donation I did to Knife Rights. This one being more of a smaller sized EDC, so very comparable to the Seagull with the Diverge XR from SOG. A little bit more blade length, I would say it's about the same handle. It's really close on the handle, but you got a little bit more blade length on there. Let me go ahead and move these out of the way. Let's grab the scale and check the weight on this one. All right, we got the scale out. I cut it on as I was pulling it out. I would say this is probably a 3.6. It feels like it's got some good weight to it. 3.3 is actually surprising. It feels heavier than what it actually is. I think it's for the size. It's all kind of condensed. So that's why it's feeling a little bit heavier in the hand. All right, final thoughts and impressions on the Seagull. I grade on a scale of 1 to 10. However, with budget friendly materials like 14C28N with aluminum and steel, I limit those to a 7. That gives more of the upper echelon if you have premium materials on there like titanium, carbon fiber, or super steels and or both, and the knife is built well. Now, I take into account the ergos, the performance both with the action and the cutting, money for value, and the aesthetics, which is a little subjective to what I like. On this one, I do like the fit and finish and build quality. They're all very well done, especially with the way that this knife is locked up solid. I like the way the coating on the aluminum feels in the hand. It almost feels like it's titanium. It feels premium, and I appreciate that. A little small for me, so that is a little bit of a drawback. Also feel like it's a little bit of a miss not having 2 extra holes drilled out here to reverse the pocket clip, since it is a inset liner lock. This would be left hand friendly. I wouldn't say it would be built for lefties, but a lefty certainly could enjoy carrying this in their natural hand, even though it is the wrong hand. I kid. But I think that's a little bit of a miss. So for me on the Seagull, I think I'm going to go 6-1. I think that's a very fair score on this particular one. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and if you're interested in picking this up or any other knives, and I have a link down below that does help the channel when you use the link. That's totally up to you guys if you want to do that. If you enjoyed the video, like would be appreciated. Comment helps the algorithm, as does your subscription. Special shout out and thank you to my channel members. Love you guys. That's it for me today. I'm out of here. Thanks for hanging out. I'll catch you on the next one. Goodbye.